really sitting here trying to tell me that all it took was that one little Disney video to get y'all so-called American patriots in your feelings all up in my comment section like that? But guess what? Lean in, beloved, because I got another story to tell, and much like the other ones, this one is also very much true, but we're going to play a game, and y'all are going to tell Miss G who it is you think I'm talking about. Once upon a time, there lived a man in a very divided country, and this man became one of the most powerful men in the world by convincing a certain group of people that other people were responsible for their suffering. He pointed the finger and placed blame, whether based on their race, their religion, sexual orientation, or whatever it was, in order to use their prejudices and biases in order to manipulate them in order to serve his own personal agenda. That's the definition of demagoguery that the original patriot George Washington warned about, by the way. Out of that fear and out of people just being afraid, these people bought into whatever this man had to say because right or wrong, they genuinely believed him when he sold hate for hope, and they believed him whenever he said he would make their country great again. Nobody took this man seriously. They made fun of him all the time because nobody actually believed he'd ever be in a place of power to actually act upon his crazy ass ideologies. At one point, this man even incited a violent insurrection in order to seize power by force. It failed. Despite the fact that it failed, he still wasn't properly punished for it. In fact, the only purpose that it did serve was to further divide the country than it already was, and also to galvanize his base to become even more radical. Labor unions were attacked, cut back, or completely eliminated. Push crazy conspiracies like the big lie, and then use his massive mass media resources in order to push that big lie. Any of this sound familiar? If that wasn't bad enough, the historical narrative was next on the agenda, which is why they started to ban books, completely rewrite the curriculum, and there was open hostility against higher education. If there was any kind of dissension, he used his bully pulpit of the world stage in order to force them into submission. If that didn't work, he always had his allies within the paramilitary groups in order to intimidate them and enforce their silent submission. He and his base became so powerful because of this need to unite against the common enemy in order to eliminate this perceived threat. His base and the Conservative Party allied themselves together to go after the liberal left. One problem, he and his base became so powerful that their ideology took complete control of the Conservative Party, despite the fact that many conservatives did not agree with the extremism. But by the time that they realized it, it was already too late. Sexism was rampant, gender roles became more rigid, and this male-dominated government literally sought to intentionally and repeatedly attack women's rights and homosexuality. Nepotism, cronyism, corruption were rampant because he would put people into positions that they were unqualified for, but really just to insulate himself from any kind of accountability. Last but not least, used the most popular religion at the time in order to manipulate public opinion, and that is despite living in open hypocrisy to its ideological principles. If you're one of the ones who thought I was talking about Donald Trump, you're wrong, because I was actually describing the rise of power of one Adolf Hitler, the man who was responsible for the mass genocide of the Jews who would thrust this entire world into World War II. But that's the fascism playbook, which is why it's no shock to sit here and see y'all same American patriots waving a fucking Nazi flag at your Trump rallies. History is a place of reference and not residence. We only live there because we refuse to learn from it, but make no mistake, it's written every single day. So it's no shock to me that I got some of y'all pressed, because lean in, beloved. I intend to remind y'all where the fuck you stood in it. Teach your life.